Hello and welcome to our webinar on applying intelligent automation in healthcare. I am Brahil Redewala, the Executive Vice President at Productive Edge, and very excited to be here with you today to talk about various catalysts in the healthcare space that are driving the need for process automation in general, and how you can go about delivering automation-based impact to your organization. Just a quick note on Productive Edge. We are a premier digital business consulting and technology solutions company focused primarily on driving digital transformation through data and AI, intelligent automation, Internet of Things, and the cloud. We are based and headquartered in Chicago with offices in Boston here in the United States, as well as offices in Eastern Europe. Before we get into discussing process automation, it's good to understand what are the dynamics that are really driving the need for healthcare organizations to consider investment in process automation. Fundamentally, it's the convergence of digital technologies with personal health and healthcare in general that are really accelerating the disruptive effects across the care continuum, so payers, providers, as well as life sciences. The three main catalysts that we see and some of the effects of those are the following. The first is the movement away from fee-for-service to value-based care and population health. Both of those are driving significant efforts across the care continuum to deliver coordinated, integrated care. You've seen a lot of mergers and acquisitions happen. Vertical integrations are happening, and more importantly, payer and provider partnerships are accelerating, and part of the payer-provider partnership is around being able to better understand population health to identify at-risk patients and deliver the coordinated care that is expected out of value-based care initiatives, as well as quality of care. The payer-provider collaboration is important and requires, in many ways, exchange of information and data, so that medication profiles are better understood, care utilization and care non-utilization or underutilization is better understood, so that the best care pathways are formed. And it's really around this value-based care and population health initiatives that there is a need to improve the aspect of coordination between the care continuum partners. Another big catalyst is the digital consumer. So it's wearables and technology trends like including wearables and Internet of Things devices, connected medical devices, remote care capabilities, artificial intelligence for next best actions, and then just a sheer number of healthcare-related applications that are in the market that are driving consumers to think and broadly accept their own responsibility of their own healthcare, proactive health, managing healthy lifestyles, focused on healthy outcomes, desire to have remote access to care, etc. All of those are really underpinned by digital partnerships, technology, companies partnering with healthcare companies, as well as a lot of innovation in healthcare generally as well. Underpinning to technology and digital is also this emergence of patient journey, and really evaluating the entire journey of the patient to understand any friction points that could be digitalized or any friction that is that can be identified that could be removed to deliver sort of that quality care and meet those value care initiatives. Then overarching across the board, across healthcare, there is a catalyst around just reducing healthcare costs. So looking at repetitive manual tasks that create friction in delivering quality care, or automating workflow to streamline operations are all inherently part of not just only reducing healthcare costs, but also delivering the digital patient journey, as well as aligning to value care initiatives. So the catalysts are all influencing and benefiting from each other, and the impacts of those are across the board, can be felt across the board, across the care continuum. So there, when we think about how technology can enable meeting some of these needs. Obviously, there's a wide variety of areas where technology investments can be made, but there is one area of process automation that can really look at and impact a wide variety of scenarios and use cases around coordinated care, driving operational efficiencies from workflow, repetitive manual tasks, and reducing those, as well as improving patient experience. So when you think about looking at where to invest and how to think, how to begin delivering a transformation around your digital strategy, then process automation should be high up on the list, on your list as well. So let's drill into, when you talk about process automation and the technologies that enable that, what are we talking about? So there are two significant enhancements in automation technology that have created new opportunities for healthcare organizations, both providers and payers, to address challenges. The first one is, and you may have heard of this as robotic process automation, or RPA. RPA leverages bots that are built to perform tasks on user interfaces of applications, of enterprise applications. So imagine somebody manually updating multiple applications from a set of information that they have received. A bot can log into those applications, perform function, then log out and log back into another application, input some data, etc. That kind of a function is called robotic process automation. Most of the time, these tasks are rule-based. Certain things, you see certain things, you go ahead and enter information. You enter this information if it's like this, and a lot of times it involves structured data. And if you were to align that with a person doing work, this would equal to a lot of the hand work that a person would do. So for example, entering data from one application to another is like a hand work. Another advancement in robotic process automation has been in the area of intelligent automation. Intelligent automation performs more complex work that involves unstructured data, like images, handwriting, documents, PDFs, and applies and takes machine learning to understand and act on that information. In fact, it could be even using then robotic process automation to enter some information, log into an enterprise application, etc. So if you were to align that with a person's, what a person would do, that would be more of the head work. That is typically extracting information, insights from documents and unstructured sources, understanding what they mean, and then using handwork to then go and enter that data into various applications. So both areas of automation, robotic process automation and intelligent automation, deliver significant benefits across those three areas: coordinated care, repetitive manual tasks, as well as patient experience. So let's take an example of how RPA and IA's intelligent automation can be applied. So if you have a problem, typical problems are, associates are spending a lot of time validating data and then copying data from one application to another application. That's a great use case for applying robotic process automation to automate manual work, while also performing the work faster, of course, and therefore in some ways reducing friction and delivering better outcomes. If there is a large amount of time that teams are working to process incoming documents and then route them in certain places based on what information is contained in the documents, that is a classic example of applying intelligent automation. And intelligent automation can use algorithms or capabilities such as optical character recognition and AI-based information extraction from documents or other unstructured content to read and utilize that information and make decisions about where to route that information as well. And then obviously, these algorithms can then be coupled with RPA to update downstream applications. Another example of using this is in areas where associates are spending a lot of time answering questions that are in some ways be routine questions from patients or from call centers and or to nurses, etc. In many ways, a chatbot that leverages AI can be introduced to handle a lot of these inquiries, and allows the human beings to focus more on more of the difficult calls, more complex triaging, things like that. And when you couple that chatbot capability with intelligent automation and RPA, then you're really driving significant process automation and operational efficiencies and reacting faster to situations where people want insights very quickly or address problems very quickly. So here are examples of that. I mean, think about drilling down into what that means for, as an example, across healthcare and specifically payers as an example. Then there are lots of business processes across an health organization, whether it might be from product development, more sales and distribution, or policy administration, or through member management, billing, or through patient care management, provider network management, claims management. All of those have various processes across those business functions, and intelligent automation specifically can benefit a large variety. So what this does, this particular map gives you insight into what types of processes or functions can benefit from intelligent automation drastically, and how drastic that benefit would be. For instance, clearly in claims management area, and in policy administration area, and in things like prior authorization and exchange of information across the various parties in the care continuum. Those are really good examples for application of intelligent automation. Let's get some practical insights into the specific examples for intelligent automation. So here's an example that we worked on then, and we are actually very proud to be part of the CI 100 award that this particular customer received. And this is more around the use case for pharmacy item entry. And the whole issue here is that receiving of a prescription, incoming prescription that has a drug or SIG code on them, being able to actually parse that information, understand what's being written, and apply standard naming conventions as well as SIG codes on that, and then routing any unmatched prescriptions to a manual queue and processing large numbers of these prescriptions to make it easier for patients to actually get their prescriptions in time, but more importantly, save cost in doing so. As an outcome in this particular use case, we're processing about 400,000 prescriptions per day, ramping up to 1 million by end of the year, and then you've got very high precision in understanding the data and then performing the matches using that algorithm. And most 95% of all incoming prescriptions are automated at this point. And in most cases, the pharmacists who have been trained to actually do a lot more complex work in terms of delivering on the prescription, are reallocated to more difficult queues, or actually serving the patients more promptly, or being available more often for patients to be seen. And in the end, this particular customer saw a significant reduction in shipping costs, because we're able to process the batch rate of processing these prescriptions was so much higher than being able to do that manually. Another example is when this particular case actually combined, looking at preventing fraud, waste, waste and abuse of prescriptions, and cases where duplicate prescriptions may be sent. But how the challenge is to be able to know that, to be able to understand that incoming prescriptions are duplicate, automating the classification of prescriptions, then to say yes, they are valid and therefore should be fulfilled, or they should be canceled, and more importantly, providing this idea of human in the loop. So if there are things that need a little bit more input from the human, be able to actually take that and then learn from it, and then be able to, for future prescriptions, be able to react more appropriately. And again, in this case, the outcomes are significant. Being able to the process time for flagging prescriptions increase very rapidly. At the same time, you're delivering, you're delivering prescriptions sooner and faster, so patient experience is improved as well. And accuracy and consistency of finding duplicate prescriptions and then reacting to those, also becomes quite natural. I'll give you another example of a scenario where, in this case, we are looking at a triage scenario where we're able to look at incoming claims and be able to understand whether a claim is for a specific thing, in this case for transplants, and be able to automate the review and decision making to determine whether a case claim is in fact related to transplant, and if it is, update various systems. They could be green screen systems or desktop based systems, and automate the web, and further automate other web based applications to do things like understand plan eligibility or facility capabilities that would be required to support that particular claim. And again, the outcomes are significant here. Better and increased accuracy of routing, triaging, and understanding whether claims are for a certain case. And again, being able to incorporate human in the loop for improving the accuracy over time of this decision algorithm. So just a few of these examples, and you can see that the impact you can have across your various processes and business functions is significant. And in many ways, it is the challenge now is to say, where do I begin? Because the opportunities are so many. And having a digital strategy that kind of shapes, what are the key outcomes we're looking for? What are the key initiatives that we're striving for, let's say this particular year, around patient experience, around coordinated care, around cost reduction activities, that can help you determine how best to prioritize that and prioritize the use cases that you can go after and drive benefit from intelligent automation. And like I said, these all three of these areas can be impacted significantly by applying intelligent automation. So the question is where to begin, and there is enough work to be done across just internally within your own organization, or then across the care continuum from an integrated care or even a coordinated care perspective, that thinking of intelligent automation as a center of excellence within your organization can benefit significantly. The rate at which you are able to understand the use cases and then turn them around, actually deliver value, can become quite rapid. So we suggest really considering and thinking about setting up an intelligent automation center of excellence. And the goal of the center of excellence is to focus primarily on helping business understand which opportunities are ripe and what the impact and the ROI could be achieved from applying intelligent automation. But even beyond that, it's creating some kind of a framework for scoring the various opportunities, so that you're able to really understand holistically across the business how best to think about intelligent automation, and be able to then create a mechanism through which more deep dive and detail insights are gathered around a particular process, so that intelligent automation can be applied. And the deep dive includes things like data gathering, connecting with subject matter experts, doing walkthroughs from process flows, and creating output that is ready for the design phase of intelligent automation, applying intelligent automation technology. There's also areas where you're working with senior leaders to help them understand the impact of applying intelligent automation, help them see how intelligent automation can be a tool in your toolkit to drive your digital strategy, and use that proactively in forming a much more informed digital strategy as well. In addition, working with senior leaders to establish the incentives to an incentive structure to adopt IA. In many ways, IA and intelligent automation or process automation can be viewed upon as as a challenge to me as managing an organization, but in many ways, given organizational key metrics or performance indicators, they'll see people need to understand and see how best that ties into strategic goals and how best to actually improve patient experience through the experts that we already have, and give them the ability to form those bonds and work on those particular tough cases rather than performing menial tasks. So it's that kind of work that this center of excellence needs to do. In addition to that, they should be thinking about technology selection. There is a lot of innovation happening, not only just in the RPA space, but also in the machine learning and the AI space. And many companies are bringing the two ideas together. From automating machine learning itself to implementing human in the process loops much better and much more holistically. Obviously, performing the core RPA functions. So the solutions are getting much more mature, and you want the center of excellence to be able to understand the move. Where is the industry going, and where is the technology going, and where is AI going, and who are my top vendors that I can really count on and work with to drive this. So we truly believe that in our experience working with organizations that have taken a center of excellence approach to building out an intelligent automation has helped them tremendously in terms of not only the ROI but the time to benefit has decreased very, very, very significantly. From our perspective at Productive Edge, we have done enough of this work that we can help clients in forming a center of excellence strategy, or if there is already a center of excellence built around intelligent automation, to work with them to actually then dig into the use cases and understand the maturity of the use case and the processes for application of intelligent automation, as well as determine the key ROIs and exactly the benefits of that can be achieved from intelligent automation. And then beyond that, there's the technology and the ability to execute once we've determined the use case. So everything from functional design to then technical design to then the development of the solution, which would include not only applying the RPA, but also building the machine learning models and training the machine learning models on the use case and scenarios that we're trying to solve for that particular automation process. And then testing the system to make sure, and maybe even doing that in parallel for some time while we're checking the efficacy of the models as well as the accuracy, and then deploying the solution and actually benefiting from that and making sure that the business function is able to see and derive value from the investment in technology. So we're very excited about having proven this methodology out and working with many clients in the healthcare space in delivering that. Another thing that, as I said, needs to happen is just the amount of technology that's out there. So whether it might be core platform technologies like in the cloud that are doing amazing work with machine learning, or there are companies that are really driving automated machine learning like Data Robot, H2O.ai, and WorkFusion, or or solutions that are built specifically to solve the problem of robotic process automation and intelligent automation and human in the loop, etc. So things like companies like WorkFusion, Automation Anywhere, UiPath are all tools that we have in our toolbox to help you determine what is the right set of solutions that you should invest in based on the areas where intelligent automation is best applied within your organization. And we can certainly bring that expertise to you as well. So with that, I hope that I've provided you with a quick background on RPA and intelligent automation and healthcare and in healthcare, and you see certainly an opportunity for you to leverage this technology within your organization. We're happy to work with you, and I'm happy to take questions now. And if you would like us to speak with you more about your specific use cases, I'll be happy to talk to you more about them. Thank you again for joining me today, and I'm happy to take some questions.